So then in 95, I remember being at Blackcomb at the end of the day in Merlin's, and Greg Stump came up, hey, how's the happiest guy in sports? And I'm like, oh, good, are you? High five. And he goes, hey, I'm making a mountain bike movie, and I need someone who can do a 360. Do you know someone who can do a 360? And I said, yeah, my buddy Richie Slay can do one on a BMX. I'm sure he could do one on a mountain bike.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, thanks. And so that was like...
that was 95.
This was in 95.
Yeah.
And so then I remember being out tree planting, working in the woods, and I heard from somebody down the grapevine that you were coming to town to film Richie Slay do a 360 for a mountain bike movie. And I was like, I have to go and poach that shoot. Richie, he's a BMXer. I'm a mountain biker. I got to poach this shoot. But I was meanwhile in the woods hanging out with two girls.
Planting, yeah.
And I said to the girls, after a few little romantic smooches with these two girls, I gotta go because my ride's leaving to go into town. My vehicle was broken, so I was out there with no vehicle and I had to get a ride with Craig Olsen into town to poach a shoot the next day. So I said goodbye to the girls, and they said, "What? Where were you going?" And I'm like, I'm going to be in a mountain bike movie. And they're like, "You are?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So the next day, Richie went and did the 360. He stomped it for you. You filmed it.
Yep.
And then we hung out and we partied a bit, and I think we had a few cans of beer and whatnot. And then he went to do the 360 again, and he got off access and he face planted into the ground.
Yeah.
And turns out the first shot of him sticking it was soft, out of focus.
Yeah.
And so they only used the shot of him face planting.
Yeah.
He didn't even let go of the handlebars. Anyways, I felt bad for that. Anyway, so then I was like, okay, that was cool. I want to show you something. And you're like, okay. And I go, come with me. We're going to go do some steeps. And so Craig Olsen and I took you guys to the Valley View Skating Arena where the Kamloops Bike Park is now. And we rode some steeps. And Richie was like, okay, I'll try this too. And Craig Olsen was like ahead of the game back then, pretty much, from most riders that I ever saw.
Yeah.
And he was doing some drops, and I was riding steeps. And I remember riding a line where I was like, oh boy, I kind of took a left line. There was a kind of a new line, and I got going so fast, and I had a bucking bronco ride down the thing, hung on, and it made it into the opening shot of the segment of that movie. And we ended up riding a bunch of steeps and kind of jamming all together. And that was, I think, kind of like the birthplace of freeride mountain biking, being captured on camera.
That was really the first time.
That was the moment.
And that's why that Greg Stump, he didn't know anything about mountain biking. Nothing.
He was a skier. He was a bump skier originally.
That's why he sent me to film mountain biking, because he saw something that I made before. But when he got the footage, he didn't know what to expect. He was doing a film for Specialized Bike, and he doesn't know anything about mountain biking, but he's very creative, and that's why they hired him.
And the footage he's gotten from other people was race footage, or like cross country.
Yeah. So when he saw that, because coming from Blizzard of Oz and extreme skiing,
wicked ski movies,
and he saw what we did about. Very comparable to what he did with Blizzard of Oz. So for him, it was extreme mountain biking. So he got very creative, and he put some Beastie Boys in there. I mean, he really went to town. And our footage made 70% of the film.
Yeah.
We made his film.
Yeah.
And that was really the start of the
that was the first real free riding in any mountain bike movie, because there wasn't any mountain bike movies out there.
Not like that. And going off piste and going not on trails, and so it got really
steep
heated.
And rowdy.
Yeah, it was
jumps.
Yeah, it got heated too by the Sierra Club of it got pretty heated. People
hated it because we were riding off trail.
Yeah.
It was that's not what you did mountain biking. You stayed on the trails.
Yeah.
And and we're like just hanging it out there and crashing and trying it again and just running through like everything in our way. And that was the moment.
Yeah, I think it was the moment
of extreme mountain biking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it got more sophisticated when we did crank too. So when we did pop traction, and Bjorn and I went, wow, that's gonna take off. But nobody's seen pop traction because it was not really
distributed.
Specialized. Didn't want to distribute it because there was too much controversy in the footage. So they didn't really
Specialized
want,
was the sponsor of the
Yeah,
film, and they wanted all the extreme free riding footage
out of
off
there.
trail footage taken out.
I know, but you could, and Greg never did it. So
Yeah.
basically, the film was not seen. A lot of people never seen Pulp Traction.
It's like a cult classic.
Yeah, and then from there we went. Well, let's make our own mountain bike movie about all that. Let's forget about So,
But that was until '97. In '96, you made a multi-sport film called Tao of Riding.
Yeah, I got the tape here.
Oh, do you?
I got the tape cover. Yeah.
So that had like skiing, snowboarding, like surfing.
Yeah, everything. Skateboarding, BMX, and you going with the board, like you and on the sandboard.
Yeah, gravel boarding.
All kind of thing. Yeah.
And then we had a little more free riding than that.
Yeah, there was free riding in there. Yeah.
Yep, carbon turns.
Really, good, but not as rowdy as Crank.
Oh,
Crank
no.
people were everything went to the next level at
Every
Crank.
year, things
exactly.
just got better and crazier.
Yeah, yeah.
So Tao of Riding happened in '96.
Yeah.
Or Pulp Traction in '95.
Yeah.
Tao of Riding in '96.
Yeah.
And then in '97, you and Bjorn had gotten some money out of Bike Magazine to make a little TV show called Wheels of Freedom.
Called Freewheeling in British Columbia.
Freewheeling in British Columbia.
Yeah.
Bike Magazine TV.
A TV show.
Basically.
Yeah.
And so you started cruising around, and is that when you got the bus?
Yeah.
You had the purple bus?
The idea was to go with the bus and go all around BC and shoot the scene in BC.
Yeah.
Kamloops, Keremias, Whistler, Rossland. We did a good segment in Rossland. Trail. The stuff in Trail was just out of this world.
Yeah.
And they did a good show, good TV show. But the deal we had said, okay, we won't charge you to shoot the TV show, but we can own all the footage.
Yes.
So that was the deal that made it. So basically, the first Crank was made by a deal that Bjorn made with Bike Magazine saying, hey, we're going to do all this for you guys. Don't pay us, but give us the footage.